Okay, now we're recording. So this one's asking me to plot the points. That's kind of easy, not that hard. -3, 1's right here. -4, 5 is right there. I mean, you should know how to do that because you'll help for midpoint and distance formulas. I'm not going to ask a question like this. It's way too easy. 0, 4, and 0, 0. And then, of course, -3, 1. So quadrants, we haven't really talked about quadrants before, but just so you know, that's considered quadrant 1. Quadrants are quarters. So the upper right's called quadrant 1, the upper left's called quadrant 2, the lower left's called quadrant 3, the lower right's called quadrant 4. I'm not sure if I've had that discussion with you guys about. Maybe you guys already know that, maybe don't. It goes counterclockwise. Don't know why, just does. So -3, 1 we say is quadrant 2, as well as -4, 5. 3, 2 is obviously in quadrant 1. 0, 4 is actually on the y-axis. So it's not really in a quadrant. We'll say it's a positive y-axis because of positive y values. And then 0, 0 is at the origin, which is right in the middle. So yeah, not that hard. And feel free to print these too. I mean, you can totally download printers at home if you have access to a printer, or you kind of just take notes. You know, whatever works for you guys. Points that live on the same line, we say are collinear. Points that live in the same plane are coplanar. Two lines intersect at a point. A line contains an infinite number of points that goes on forever in two directions. And an angle. Wait, sorry, no, that makes no sense. Sorry, I didn't read correctly. A segment is formed by connecting two endpoints. So if you have two endpoints, you connect them, that's a segment. But going forever in two directions, that's a line. And if you draw images for each of these, a ray is like this. A line is like this. A segment's like this. And that's a point. So all review from pretty much day one. Questions? We're okay? Cool. I will keep moving. So that's the first page. Show 4 different ways to name an angle. So that could be angle 5. You can say angle A. I lied. Angle B. Angle ABC. Angle CBA. Again, I'm not going to ask a question like that. It's pretty easy. Just review, but you know, that's how we can name angles. So different ways that we can name that. So again, angle 5, angle B, angle ABC, angle CBA. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. The CD equal EF. I think D is right here. I think it's right there. So I think that's going to be a length of 5. EF probably is also a length of 5 because it looks like that's at 7. And that's at -9 for C, I think. So yeah. Why? Because they both equal 5. That's kind of strange. AD 10 minus -4. So that's 14. AC will be 10 minus -9, which is 19. So hopefully those make sense. And the midpoint of CD, let me get a highlighter out here. So you got to average two coordinates. Is -6.5. Or -13/2, same thing. Again, I'm not going to quite ask a question like this one either. Just again, it's all review. Remember, midpoints when you want to average the two coordinates. Average means you add up, divide by 2 when you have two numbers. Draw a picture that contains, so K contains lines, I assume it's a line. So here's line K, lowercase k. J, K, L are collinear, so they're all on the same line. J, K, L. F and RT intersect at B, so line F. RT. Nearest point B. There we go. Pretty straightforward, right? Not that hard. Hopefully we're okay with that. Now, this stuff I will ask, and I'm going to have you guys do a little practice. So here you're asked to use a distance formula. And these two problems are kind of lame. I'm not going to ask you to find distance on a number line. I think that's what's going on here. So let's cross off 14, 15. But these are good ones. So find this between 2 points. So you guys are going to do 13. I'll do 12. And what I like to do is I like to just plot the points. Here's 2, 1. Here's 8, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 2. Let's connect these bad boys. Length of 1, length of 6. You do Pythagorean theorem. C is root 37. That's all. Root 37. Or if you wanted to, you could do this. You get 6 squared plus 1 squared, same thing. So either way, you could draw a picture, make a right triangle, do Pythagorean theorem, or you could use the distance formula, which I did right below. It's up to you. So why don't you guys go ahead and try 13. I'll pause the video for a couple minutes, and then someone can share the answer with me in the chat, and then we'll move on to other stuff. So let me pause recording. Darn it, I apologize. I didn't do I didn't resume the recording. So let me back up a little bit here. See how far this goes back. My apologies for not recording earlier. I'm going to repeat what I just did, kind of. Okay, so the answer for 13 was root 72. You take a difference in x's, difference in the y's, square those differences, add them up, square root. Or you could draw a coordinate plane, plot those points, make a right triangle, do Pythagorean theorem. Your choice. You would get, if you drew a diagram, you have both legs as 6 and 6. 6 squared plus 6 squared is 36, plus 36, root 72. Or you could do this. Either way is fine. So my apologies for not recording. And then this would be angle ABE. This could be angle 2. That could be angles, raise BD and raise BC. Subternary angles out to 180. Those you say out to 180 if you so desire. Nothing's compter here because that out to 90. I don't know what could out to 90. Opposite rays, if I added arrows at ends of AC, I could say BA and BC are opposite rays like that. And then those three angles out to 180. ABE, EBD, DBC. Angles 1 and 2 are considered adjacent to each other. They're next to each other. And ABD and DBC form a linear pair because they form a line. And linear pairs are always out to 180. Okay. Sorry for not doing that recording. Okay, now let's do these problems. So that was rapid fire, but hopefully the recording helps. So we have 3 problems on this page. I'm going to do the number 25, and I'll have you guys then try 26 and 27. I'll pause the video. I'll make sure to start it up again. But yeah, I think that's what we'll do next. And again, we're going to go till about 10 o'clock and take a break, and then we're going to work through this whole thing. You know, we're going to do this whole thing here. It's a lot of problems, but it's a good review. Some may not be applicable towards us, and I'll let you know if it's not applicable. But yeah, we're gonna, you know, go through all these here, and then if we have time, then maybe we can start one of the other ones. Anyway, let's look at 25. So yeah, something like this you could see. You're told that sxt is 4x plus 1. You're told qxs is 2x minus 2. You're told qxt, this whole thing here, qxt, this whole thing is 125. So this is angle addition postulate, AAP. Because 2 of your smaller angles, 2x minus 2 and 4x plus 1, add up to 125. So 6x equals 126, because you get 6x minus 1, but you got to move the 1 over to the other side. And then x, I don't imagine, oh, that does come out nice. It's 21. X is 21. So you're asked to solve for x, which we did. And then we want to find the value of each of those angles. That would be 40, I think, here. And I think that would be 85. Yep, adds up to 125. So that's number 25. Okay, so go ahead and try these 2 here. And I will ask you guys to type in, I know I didn't do it for the previous problem, how'd you guys do on your own. So that's 3x, and rxt, this whole thing here, is 5x plus 20, where 3x is just this part. Then 5x plus 2, that's xkp, pkq, 3x plus 4, and xkq, the whole thing, is 150. Okay. Don't try these 2. I'm going to pause. Okay, this time remember to resume the recording. So yeah, so you have a 3x plus 5x plus 20 equals 180. Right? I'll have to have the 180 because it forms a line. 8x equals 160. X equals 20. And just to check, that will be 60. Plug in 20 there, you get 120. Goes out to 180. So we're okay. Next step, 5x plus 2 plus 3x plus 4 adds 150. So 8x equals 144. X is 18. So you get 92 here. And I think you get 58. Goes out to 150. So that's all. Shouldn't be that hard. Should be pretty easy points. Let's keep the train moving. Okay, I'll just give you guys a chance to copy if you're still copying.
Mr. E,
Yeah, go ahead.
those the 58 and the 92, is that the what the missing angle measurement is?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because angle XKP would be 92 when you plug 18 in for X. And angle PKQ would be 58 when you plug in 18 for X. And of course, angle XKQ, the whole thing, we already know is 150. Yeah, and there'll be like a little, like a place, like, okay, fill this out, like here's what you have to, either solve for X or solve for this angle. That will be clear on the test. And that's a good way to check your work too. Okay, draw an accurate picture to show the following. So I'll draw pictures here, and then we'll do some more practice at the end of this page. And then we'll kind of see where we are after that. Yeah, angles 2 and 3 are adjacent. You can see that's angles 2 and 3. Those are next to each other. Angle 6 and 7 are subtary but not adjacent. So that's kind of, oh, you could do it like this. Or supplementary, got it. Hold on. I'm drawing parallel here, parallel lines. Yeah, like that could be like 80 and 100. So that could be angle 6. That could be angle 7. ABC, CBD form a linear pair. So B would be the vertex. Here's A, here's C, here's D. Not that hard. Angles 4, 4, and 9 are complementary. You can draw a right triangle. Then guarantee these have to have the 90. Angles 10 and 11 are congruent. You could do something like this here. Have 2 right angles. That could be angle 10, angle 11. Those would be congruent. Angles 2 and 3 are vertical angles. They could be directly opposite each other. That could be vertical angles. So those just so you know how those look. I'm not going to ask a question like that, but just how those look. That's important. Hope that makes some sense there. Okay, let's keep on moving. Okay. Yeah, sorry. Did get enough sleep, just a little tired. Okay, here. So I'm going to do 34. Then have you guys try the other 2 problems here. Then we'll do the fill in the blanks on this page. And that might be a good place to take a break because that gets us to about the halfway point of this packet, or close to it. So 34. Angle AR is an angle bisector, so it means it cuts us in half. So it means that angle LAR has to equal angle RAK. Because that's what an angle bisector does, it cuts in half. Cuts in half. So guess what? 8x plus 12 will equal 5x plus 42. Because they're going to equal each other. Because it's cutting the big angle in half. 3x equals 30. X equals 10. So if you want to find the missing angles, not that hard. That's supposed to be 8x plus 12. That's supposed to be 5x plus 42. So that's going to be 92? 92? Yeah. So you guys will now do 35. Remember, this means the same. So CA equals AT. I kind of gave it away. And here, DUS is right here. SUR is right here. And the whole thing is 115. So let's work it out. So 35, 36. Again, I'll give you guys probably about 3 or 4 minutes. We'll check in, then we'll do the next page and we'll take a break. Okay. Well, I never pause the recording, so there's gonna be a 4-minute lull. So be it. Anyway, so let me go ahead and clear the screen here. So for 35, CA has to equal AT, so 12x minus 5 equals 8x plus 31. So 4x equals 36. X is 9. Okay. So therefore, then this side would be 72 plus 31, which is 103. And the 108 minus 5, also 103, so it makes sense. That's how you check your work. Here, 16x minus 3 plus 4x plus 18 equals 115. 20x equals 100. X equals 5. So therefore, that's 80 minus 3 is 77. 60 plus 18 is 78. Wait, that made no sense. 20 plus 18 is 38. So you get 115. So there we go. Okay, let's just go through this really quickly here. And then we'll take a break, because then we'll get into parallel lines, which is kind of a, what we did, I think, second unit. And then we'll do more algebra type problems down the road. And then midpoint we'll do, and start getting the triangles, all that fun stuff. So anyway, let's talk about this here. Two angles are next to each other and share a common ray, are adjacent. Let's say share a common ray, it would be like this. Where this would be the common ray right there. And let's say that's angle 1, that's angle 2. There you go. The word used to describe lines that are not parallel and are not coplanar, that's skew. So it's kind of like I have like a mechanical pencil and a pen. They're not going to touch, but they're not on the same plane either. They're not going the same direction. Two angles are congruent if they have the same exact measure. Two parallel lines have same slope or equal slopes. Two lines that are perpendicular have, we say, negative reciprocal slopes, meaning that if one line is 2, then the other slope would be negative 1/2. This symbol means perpendicular. This symbol means parallel. You could have it like straight up like that too. You don't have to have it slanted, but have it slanted so it doesn't look like an 11. So 42, 43, you got that right there. 37 to 41, all those problems should be good. And then the home stretch here for our break. Two angles up to 90 are complementary. Remember, some of you guys botched that in our first test. Two angles up to 180 is supplementary. Two angles are blank if only if they're two pairs, if their sides are two pairs of opposite rays. Not sure what's meant by that. Two angles are I guess supplementary. Yeah, because I guess if you had two, if they form opposite rays, say I put like A, B, C, and D. So BA and BD are opposite rays. Oh, vertical angles, got it. Yeah, because of two pairs of opposite rays. Got it, got it, got it. So yeah, because that's an opposite ray from this one, that's an opposite ray of that one. Got it. Vertical. That's weird. I'm not gonna do that to you guys in the test. A blank line is a line that intersects two or more. That would call that transversal. We usually use it with parallel lines, but it could intersect two lines that are not parallel. Name a pair of parallel segments. It's a whole bunch here. A, B, and CD. That's one example. Perpendicular, you can say AC and CE if you want. Skew, you can say CE and AB. So yeah, that's that. Okay, let's take a break. It's 10:04 right now. Let's come back at 10:20. And I think we can get I think we can get the rest of them for our lunch break. And then maybe we can start looking at the other midterm review. But hopefully this is jogging your memory. This is the whole point of review, to refresh your memory of some of the things we've done. So I'll definitely pause the recording. We'll come back at 10:20. And I think we'll do a lunch break around 11:30. We'll see. I want to finish this midterm here. So we went up to number 50, and this goes all the way up to number 115, I believe, or 120. But some of the questions I think we'll probably cross off or not applicable towards what we've done. So let me share my screen. Sorry about that. Here we go. Okay. So here we got two pair lines, just P and Q. And you know they're parallel because you see this symbol here. Remember, we want to be able to read math correctly. That means parallel. Now, you're asked to label whether these are alternate interior, corresponding, same side interior, alternate exterior, or if we have vertical angles or linear pair. Just so you know, corresponding angles would be like this. Like 3 and 6 would be corresponding. Or 4 and 8 would be corresponding. Likewise with 1 and 5, or 2 and 7. Alternate interior would be like 4 and 5, or like 2 and 6. Alternate exterior would be like 1 and 8, or 3 and 7 would be alternate exterior. A linear pair would be two angles that are side by side like that, that form a line, like 1 and 3, or 2 and 4, or 5 and 6, or 7 and 8. Those would be all linear pairs. And lastly, vertical angles like 1 and 4 would be vertical, or 5 and 8 would be vertical, or 3 and 2 could be vertical, 6 and 7 could be vertical because they're opposite of each other. So 1 and 8, they alternate and they're outside. So as the name's implied, alternate exterior angles. 6 and 2 are inside, but they alternate, so alternate interior angles. 5 and 8. 5 and 8 are directly opposite each other. We say they're vertical angles. Okay, I'm gonna have to zoom out. Not that much. No, here we go. I don't want to put a heart there. I put a heart there. Hold on. Okay. 2 and 7 are going to be corresponding. 2 and 5 are going to be same side interior. 6 and 8 are going to be linear pair again. Well, I'll say again, I don't think we have linear pair to begin with, but that's a linear pair. Question, Neil, go ahead.
What was the one for 53?
I'm gonna write them again. 1 and 8 are alternate exterior, and 52 is alternate interior, and then 5 and 8 were vertical. Okay. Let's keep moving. You asked to find complements and supplements, so I'll do 57A, and I'll have you guys do B and C really quickly. So for 57A, if you have angles, V is 70, the complement is 20. Remember, complement to add to 90. Supplement means add to 180. So that's 110. Okay, go ahead and try B and C now. That should be really fast. And if you can put your answers up in the chat, I'd like to see if you guys got this. So please put your answers in the chat after you finished. Okay, shouldn't be too long. That's actually impossible because complements add to 90. That's a trick question. That's 65. That's me 48. That's me 138. Remember, supplement adds a 180, complement adds a 90. Okay, let's keep moving. I will do a couple of these. Then I'll have you guys try the bottom four, 60, 61, 62, 63. Oh, I was expecting you guys to put stuff in the chat for, okay, definitely this time let's put stuff in the chat for 60, 61, 62, 63. Here, 2x plus 45 must equal 3x minus 8. So in this case, x equals 53. You work it out. Here, 6x minus 23 has to equal 4x plus 41 because both those segments are the same because that's what those markings mean. So 2x equals 64, x is 32. X is 32, x is 53. I think that is correct. Okay, cool. All right, well, going to try the bottom four now. I'll definitely pause the recording. And please put your answers in the chat when you're done. So I need to know x for each of these. So there's relationships you have to establish among these. And we'll see if you guys got it. And we're back to recording again. So here are the answers for 60, 61, 62, and 63. What you have to do for 60 is realize that that's 90 degrees. So then these two also are 90 degrees because you have a straight line forming all three angles. So therefore, x plus x equals 90, 2x equals 90, x is 45. Here, there's a segment addition postulate where you got 2x, 3x plus 5. And by the way, 60 was angle addition postulate, in case you're curious. So you have 2x and 3x plus 5 that make up the big segment. So 2x plus 3x plus 5 must equal 7x minus 15. And just solve the equation, which I know you guys can do. If you do it correctly, you should have that, and then x equals 10. So I moved the 2x and 3x from left to right. I moved negative 15 from right to left. That's why I got 2x equals 20, x equals 10. These got to equal each other, right? So therefore, 2x equals 12, x equals 6. There we go. So you have the markings there. And lastly, these are directly opposite of each other. So 12x plus 20 equals 8x plus 40. 4x equals 20, because you got to move things around. Therefore, x is 5. Boom. There we go. All right. Any questions on these at all? Definitely expect problems like this in the midterm. Okay. I'm going to keep moving. All right. So I'm going to do... Actually, I'm going to have you guys do 64, 65 also. Then I'll explain 66. So try these two really fast. Again, I'll pause the recording and then I'll check in about 2 minutes. Okay, hopefully you know that these two have to add up to 180. So 15x equals 165. X is 11. Because that would get you then 138 and 42. And then these two have to add up to 90. So then you're going to have 5x equals 70, because you have 12 plus 8 is 20, move to the right side. 90 minus 20 is 70. X is 14. So again, should be pretty straightforward. Not too bad, right? Okay, let me tackle 66 with you guys. A question, Nina, go ahead. Let me go back.
Yes, please.
Okay, no problem. All right, I went a little fast. There it goes. My apologies.
Thank you.
No problem. Okie dokie. Pair lines. So we know that all three lines are parallel here because they said so, right? Well, 11y is going to be the same as 55. Get that out of the way. Y is 5. Done. This is also going to be 55. That's corresponding. So then we know that 55 plus 2z minus 5 must equal 180. That forms a linear pair. 2z plus 50 equals 180. 2z equals 130. Z equals 65. A little more work there compared to the other one. And then lastly, these have to add to 180. They form a linear pair. So hopefully that helps by kind of lassoing those angles and seeing, yeah, those add to 180. And we know y is 55. So then 12x plus 60 equals 180. 12x equals 120. X is 10. So 10, 5, and 65. I'll leave it up for you guys to copy just a little bit. Okay, we'll keep the train moving. Here has to find the midpoint and then slope, get the equation on line, right line parallel to be right line perpendicular. So yeah, the reference sheet will help. Midpoint, you just have to do this. Yeah, Sean, go ahead. What's your question?
Do the other practice tests have this many questions as well?
I think so, about that much. Yeah. Actually, I have one of them right here with me. This one's all multiple choice. This one's a little less. Yeah, this one has 80, but some of the questions are not applicable towards us. The other one I think is about, let me see here. Yeah, it's like that, but some of these questions won't be applicable towards us. So I'll be crossing stuff off. Excuse me. So anyway, that's how you do midpoint to find slope. You take the difference in y's over the difference in x's. The equation line, you use y equals mx plus b. Remember, for parallel, same slope. For perpendicular, negative reciprocal slope. So I'm gonna let you guys work these out. Here are your 2 points. -3, 10, 6, 14. Work it out. If you could put your answers in the chat, we'll see how it's going. And 70 and 71 are somewhat open-ended, just so you know. Because you could use any y-intercept. Okay, so have at it. I'll pause the recording. Okay, we're back to recording. So to find a midpoint, you want to average x and y coordinates. -3 plus 6, which is 3, divided by 2 is 3/2. 10 plus 14, that's 24, divided by 2 is 12. For 68, take the difference in the y's over the difference in x's. 14 minus 10 is 4. 6 minus -3 is 9. You get 4/9. For 69, you use 4/9 as a slope. And then you're doing x minus 6, y minus 14. You could do point slope formula and leave your answer like that. If you do have to rearrange it, then obviously you want to isolate y. So you just do the 4/9 to x minus 6. Gets a little nasty with the fractions. I'll make sure you won't have anything that nasty in the real thing. You have your answer there. If you want to write a line that's parallel to AB, and I think that's, they meant to put a little symbol there, like that. Line symbol. Just say 4/9 x, that's fine. Or if you want to put a different y-intercept, go ahead. That's parallel, and then -9/4 is going to do, you have to do negative reciprocal. Okay. Let's keep moving. So again, I'll do one of these, and I'll have you guys try the others. So classify whether it's equilateral, isosceles, scaling, and if it's acute, obtuse, right, or equiangular. Obviously, if you're equilateral, you're going to be equiangular, right? But right triangles could be isosceles or it could be scaling. Obtuse triangles could be also isosceles, as well as acute triangles. So you do have some variety, but equilateral and equiangular are going to be, obviously those will be together all the time. So if this is 90, so that's a right angle, and that's 49, that's 41, then it's pretty clear it's a scaling. All sides will be different because all the angles are different, and it's acute. So now go ahead and try 73, 74, and 75 with the given information. I'll leave the recording on, and just we'll share in about 1 minute. Okay. Hopefully you see that this is scaling again. All sides are different. And not actually very obvious. I haven't talked about this with you guys, but that is going to be obtuse. If you do the Pythagorean theorem of 2 and 4, assuming this is a right angle, you have 2 squared plus 4 squared, which is 20. Obviously, this is bigger. That would be 5 squared. So we know it's not right. And it's obviously going to have to extend to make this bigger. That's why it's obtuse. But we haven't really talked about it so much, so don't worry about it. There's obviously equilateral and equiangular. And then this one here, that's going to be isosceles because you have two angles that are the same. You have 60 and 61, that's 122, that's 58. So that's going to be acute. Okay. So you're asked to fill in the blanks. Neil, go ahead.
Acute means less than 90, right?
Yep. It means every angle is less than 90. Yes. Think of like small, like a cute kid. That helps. I'm not sure. So anyway, I'm still recording, right? Yes, good. A triangle with, okay, so I'm gonna have you guys fill in these blanks here. It's kind of open-ended, but I'm gonna let you kind of simmer on this for a sec. I'll pause the recording. Okay, so triangle congruent angles and sides, all the sides are the same, all the angles are the same. It's both equilateral and equiangular. If you have no congruent sides, we say it's scaling. If you have only two congruent sides, you say it's isosceles. The triangle with one angle that measures 122 is considered obtuse because it's more than 90. And if you have 50 and 60, then the other angle is going to be 70 degrees, and this must be an acute triangle. Okay, so hopefully you guys are okay with that. All right, let's keep moving. So that's all parts of the isosceles triangle here. ED equals EF. I guess you call this a vertex angle, and you call these the base angles. Don't worry about that. I'm not going to test you guys on that. Base angles. That'd be your base, I guess. These would be your side. I don't know. That's kind of weird to me. I mean, these are your congruent sides, obviously. And these are congruent angles, I suppose. Obviously, this is the hypotenuse. And these are each of your legs. For 83, the measure of the vertex angle is 110. So that'd be 110 degrees. So what you need to do is you got to figure out the base angles. If someone could please put in the chat what they think the measure of each base angle is, that'd be great. Remember, you have 110 for vertex angle. How many do you have for the other two? Hopefully you got 35 degrees for the other two. You have to have to 70 for the bottom. You got to split it. Thank you, Pippin. 35, you got it. Here's another one. Again, you got yourself another isosceles triangle. The vertex angle is 20. So you got 160 combined for these two. Oh, the base angle. Yikes, I didn't see that. These are each 20. Okay. So then that adds to the 40. So you have 140 for the vertex angle. There you go. Didn't read that carefully. Read carefully. Okay. Yeah, let's not worry about 85. Let's cross off 85, 86, and 87. Let's cross those off, because we didn't really talk about that stuff. And let's cross off 88 as well. So this page we'll just completely do away with. But we have talked about congruence, so let's move on to that. List 4 ways to prove any two triangles are congruent. Obviously ASA, SAS, SAA, or side, side, side. There's also hypotenuse leg theorem, but that's only for right triangles. Because it any two triangles, right? Like, you know, if you didn't have a right triangle. List 2 is that will not prove any two triangles, like angle, angle, angle. Doesn't do it for us. or a side-side angle. Doesn't do it for us either. Side-side angle is kind of like hypotenuse leg, but only for right triangles. If all the angles are the same, then we know that we have similar triangles, but that's the best we could say. Okay, let's look at 91. 91, you're told determine if they're congruent and then give a reason. If they're not, then say why not. Well, here we have a side. So put an S. Here you got an angle. So put angle. And here you got another side. So just look at it, it's SAS. That's it. So yes, they're congruent. Remember, that's a symbol for congruent. And side angle side. Okay, I'm gonna have you guys try '92 and '93 with information you're given there. I'll pause recording. Okay, so you know that these angles are the same because both 57.4. So that's an A. Then you have these sides. So that's an S. And they have these angles. So that's ASA. That's yes, they are congruent. This one's gonna be a no. So you do have these sides are the same. You have these sides are the same. And you have these angles. That side angle only works for right triangles, and I don't know if this is the right triangle. There's not enough information. So I'm gonna say no. This one I took a peek a little earlier. State 4 ways to prove any two right triangles are congruent. 4 ways. I know it's hypotenuse leg theorem. Yeah, I don't know what for. I mean, I guess side, or side, or angle, side, angle, or side angle. I don't know. That seems a little weird to me, that question. Don't worry about it. But let's look at these two here. These are right triangles, okay. Determine if they'll be congruent. Well, yeah, I mean, this is hypotenuse leg theorem, and that's side angle side, right? We have side, angle, no pair of side and angle in between are right angles, those are the same. And of course, you have a hypotenuse the same, the legs are the same, you have right triangle, so yeah. Okay. I'll do 97. I'll have you guys try 98 and 99 and then put the answers in the chat. If these are the same, then these angles are the same. So you have 180 minus 40, which is 140, of course. And then you got to split it. So you got 70 degrees for X. Okay, go and try 98 and 99, and we'll check in just a couple minutes. Okay, hopefully you guys see that X would have to be 60 here, because 180 equals X plus 63 plus 57. It's not too hard. We have X plus 120. X is 60, there you go. Not that hard. Okay, 99. These two have to add up to 90. Right, because that's 90 right there. So 2x minus 3 plus 3x plus 8. Let's add to 90. So 5x plus 5, let's add to 90. 5x equals 85. X is 17. So for those two make sense. Okay, we still got some more. We have to try these two. Then we want to fill in the blanks, and we'll wrap this up and have a lunch break very soon. So I'm going to try 100, 101. I'll pause recording. Okay, so in this case, x is going to equal these two. So 62 plus 59 equals x. It's always true. This is part of the exterior angle theorem. So then x is 121. Then because these are the same, those are the same. So 2x equals 4, x equals 2. Okay. Here we have talked about these before. Don't worry about those or that one. I mean, obviously notice a triangle. You have 3 sides. Notice a quadrilateral. Quadrilateral if you have 4 sides. Pentagon if you have 5 sides. Hexagon if you have 6 sides. Don't worry about 7, that's a heptagon. Octagon. You have 8 sides, but yeah, I wouldn't worry about that. We haven't really talked much about parallelograms or rhombuses or rectangles, so don't worry about these. Problems, will cross those off. Okay. And we haven't really done the, any of this stuff either on these shapes. This one doesn't have any stuff on similarity, so we'll have to look at another. I have another midterm that'll help with that, and mid segments. But it's all kind of the first 2 units. If you think about like with the pair lines, Ryan equations of lines, supplementary complementary angles, all the terms and definitions. This is Pythagorean theorem, which you guys should know. That 6 squared plus 8 squared equals x squared. That'll be 36 plus 64 equals x squared. That's 100 equals x squared. X is 10. So there you go. And you do likewise the other ones, but we haven't really done much work with Pythagorean theorem. I mean, you guys, just things you guys should know. And there's some special right triangles. We're going to venture into that after Thursday, in the second half of the class. So anyway, we'll go and stop there. So that pretty much covers this first midterm packet. We'll definitely do another one when we come back from lunch break. So it's 11:32. I said let's come back at 12:05, and then we'll go for about 40 minutes. I'll work out the other one with you guys. We'll do as much as we can, and that's what we'll do. Okay, so we'll come back at 12:05. Okay, so now we're recording. Let's look at the other two midterms. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you problems that are reasonable for us and those that are not. So I'm looking at the second one that you could download from Schoology. This actually is a really nice reference sheet. You can see they have the distance and midpoint formulas, the area of a rectangle, triangle, circle, circumference of a circle, slope, the equation lines. We haven't used these formulas, don't worry about those. Just some vocabulary, just to check to make sure you know what those words mean. There are a bunch of true false questions, which we could probably do in a little bit, but I think the first page is fine. Just on a quick scan, it seems like a second page would be fine. I think this page is fine. I think that page is fine. We haven't used a protractor, so don't worry about 46. I mean, you should, just by looks, it looks like it's acute, but let me put a little note here. I'll put as an update. So don't worry about 46. 47, 48, I think are fair game. Bill's 49. We have talked about convex and concave. I think these are fair game. Yeah, I think those are all good. We haven't done the if-then statements, so maybe we could talk about that a little bit, but I think those are all good stuff. Don't worry about 64. So I'm going to put as an update in Schoology. And the updates are, right here. I haven't really used that. I should use them more often. But I'll put as an update. It's the ones you can ignore. Excuse me. Yeah, 65 is fine. Don't worry about 66. We haven't really done proofs. Yeah, the reasons like like transitive, all that stuff. Yeah, I think those are good. 73, 74 is good. That's definitely good. Slope is good. Parallel perpendicular, that's good. Right equation lines, that's all good stuff. Parallel line stuff, midpoint, slope. Yeah, don't worry about 93E. I mean, it's not that hard. A bisector cuts in half, perpendicular means perpendicular line, but don't worry about 94F. We haven't done that stuff yet. Or G. Yeah, or 95F. Or G. Okay. 96 is fair. Not G. Yeah, don't worry about 97. Yeah, it's all fair game. Don't worry about 105 or 106. Um, yeah, don't worry about 108 or yeah, 108. That's fair. Yeah, 110 through 115 would have to do. Okay, so there's some problems they're good to do. So let's do this. Let me have you guys work on page 1, just kind of get that out of the way. Basically these true false statements, and then selecting which term is correct. So you guys should have access to this file. I'm gonna leave this up here, but I'm gonna go on the other my other device and look at the other exam, and then figure out which ones are. Actually, I have the paper copy right here. So I'll give you guys a few minutes, maybe about 5 minutes to do page 1 of midterm number 2, midterm review number 2. Then we'll talk about it. Then maybe we'll do the second page, get that out of the way. Just knock out a good chunk of these questions here. But there's a bunch of questions on the midterm number 2 review that I wrote down that you don't want to do because we haven't covered that stuff. But let me take a look at midterm number 3 in the meantime for the next few minutes. So go ahead and take work on the first page, 1 through 17. And then we'll go through the answers. And I'll pause recording. Okay, well, I didn't record it. Oops. There we go. Those are the answers for those problems. So again, vertical angle is not adjacent. Midpoint divides line segment into 2 congruent segments. Slope is what m represents, y equals mx plus b. If you have a transversal that cuts 2 lines, we call them the angles are located between the lines. That's called interior angles. Exterior angle to triangles when you extend one of the sides, and it's formed by one of the sides of the triangle. SCS, you have to have side angle side. So you have to have the include angle between the 2 congruent side, 2 pairs of congruent sides. And here, that's what we have for that one. So again, 4 and 5, that was false. 4 and 5 are corresponding angles, that's false. They're alternate interior angles. Definitely 4 and 6 are consecutive interior, and they're supplementary, that's true. 7 is going to be false, 2 or more lines in a plane at different points. That's what transversal is. Triangle, equilateral, it's equal angle, but also acute because all the angles are less than 90. Obtuse, you have to have exactly one obtuse angle from obtuse triangle. You can't have 2 because they have more than 180. That's impossible. 10, 11, don't worry about. And then don't worry about 4, that was kind of weird. 1 was true, 2 and 3 are both false. 2 angles are complementary, they have to 90. 2 raise and intersect common endpoint. An angle is formed, not a plane. Okay. Now let's look at the second page. These are fill in the blanks, and you're asked to use these terms in the first page. I can kind of just tell you what's going on here, then maybe have you try some on your own. An angle bisector divides an angle into 2 congruent angles. 2 angles are supplementary, they have to 180. 2 angles lying in the same plane are called coplanar. Are called adjacent. They share a common side and a common vertex. The same way they follow the word if is called the conditional. Oh, sorry, that follows the word if is called the hypothesis. And the part that comes after then is the conclusion. We call this point slope form. If two lines are cut by a transversal, then each pair of alternate angles is congruent. If two parallel lines, a blank organized series of states in logical order starting with the given state. That's called a proof, which we're not going to do right now, but triangle is 90 degrees. It's called right. Called right triangle. The associated posture involves two corresponding angles and their corresponding side. The corresponding side that's included. So a good chance to copy those down. Okay, I'm gonna keep moving here. A question in the chat. Okay, no problem, Isaac, that's fine. For 28, the blanks formed by congruent legs of an isosceles the vertex angle. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. We didn't do transformations. Okay. What was the name for line L? You could say DF, or you could use E if you want. And 3 points on plane P, ACB would work, or DF, or some combination of that. The intersection of planes. Oh, actually, these are two different planes. I didn't see that. The intersection of planes P and N is line AB. And 3 non-coplanar points. We can't put, I guess, CBF all in the same plane. So I guess you could say that. Okay. So definitely go ahead and give, I crossed off some other problems here. That I think would be good for you guys to do. And I'll work out the answer key and you have it hopefully ready by around 5 o'clock today. Now let's talk about the third midterm review. I went ahead and crossed off some problems, and I'll tell you which ones are not okay, but I'll still put these up in Schoology as an update. Definitely here's what you can exclude. Uh, 10, 11, 12, you haven't done constructions. 19 and 20. And 21. 30. And 40. And 52 and 54. And 64, 65. 67, 68. 72. 74, 75. Actually, I'll just say 74 through 80. but there's a lot of other good problems. Lots of great stuff on the congruence that I think would be good. There's also some stuff on the if-then statements, which we could find on the second midterm review. But these are the problems that we want to exclude. And let me write this down for myself too, so I don't have to go through the test again. Number 3, 21, 30, 40, 52. And we'll do more review for the first hour tomorrow when we're in person. 64, 65, 67, 68, 72, 74 through 80. Okay. But yeah, there's some if-then statements which we should just briefly talk about because it's been a while since we've seen that stuff, like this stuff here. Like give a counterexample to show the statement is false. This is the second review. So if xy equals yz, then y is a midpoint. But it could look like this, right? It doesn't have to be a midpoint. That'd be your counterexample. Or write the following in if-then form. You say if an animal is a dog, then it has 4 feet. I mean, sadly, there's some dogs that have to get amputated, but you know, the assumption is it's born at 4 feet. The hypothesis is you live in Chicago. That'd be your hypothesis there. Converse, you just swap. So if 2 lines are perpendicular, then they're parallel. You say if 2 lines are parallel, then they're perpendicular to the same line. That'd be the converse. So if 2 lines parallel, then perpendicular to the same line. Sienna, go ahead. You have a question.
I have a doctor's appointment that I have to go
Oh,
to right
yeah,
now.
good.
Is it okay?
You're good.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
Yep. Inverses you negate. Like if it's not New Year's Day, sorry, if it's not January 1st, then it's not New Year's Day. Well, it's not January 1st, but today is July 6th. It doesn't have, you know, actually, that's true. If it's not January 1st, that's true. It'll not be New Year's Day. But anyway, that's converse. And contrapositive, you swap both in negate. So if school is not closed, then it's not New Year's Day. Yeah, so I want to make sure I review that with you guys because we haven't seen that in a while. Hopefully that makes some sense. Okay. Yeah, I said remove 64, so not to worry about that. Yeah, and there's some other stuff going on here too. So anyway, we'll end the call for now. So you know, this way you guys get a little bit of a breather. And I'll create the answer keys for the other 2 midterms, and I'll also upload this recording as well, so that you have access to that, because we obviously work through all midterm review 1, but I will put the solution key for midterms 2 and 3, the scans later today. We'll go over it. So I would suggest you guys work on the rest of the midterm reviews today, and just make sure you get your notes in order. That's kind of what we said, how to best prepare for a test. And have questions prepared for tomorrow, but do lots of practice today. Go to bed early. Obviously, don't do an all-nighter. That's not never a good thing. Make sure you eat breakfast in the morning. So, and Neil, you have a question? Go ahead.
We can still do test corrections for the second test, right?
Yeah, I just put up as an assignment earlier this morning. So, and that's due Friday.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And Nina, go ahead. You have a question?
Are these practice tests just for like us?
to do on our own.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. That's just to give you extra practice to get you ready for tomorrow.
It's not like an homework assignment.
No. Oh, yeah. It's not homework. Exactly. So I didn't understand your question. No, there's no homework assignment. This is just for extra practice. Exactly.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else? We're good. Okay, cool. Well, you guys are free to go. I'm going to download the recording, and I'll see you guys in class in person tomorrow morning.